I did something last week I haven't done in a long time. I was giving a speech in Salt Lake City, and the speech was on exhibit marketing for exhibitors, right? I haven't done that in years. It's been a long time since I've gotten up and given a presentation like that. I used to do that a lot. A lot of you know who followed me for many, many years, you know that I used to focus on that, but not anymore. However, I did have a big client of mine who asked me to do this presentation, and I'm happy to do that for him. So anyway, so here I am in Salt Lake City. Here's the story. I'm in Salt Lake City. I'm talking to the exhibitors about how to promote their participation at this particular new event in advance, you know, pre-show promotion, which to me is a huge deal. And in fact, if you're going to trade shows, you got to use pre-show promotion, and you got to use it. You got to use it right, and you got to be aggressive, and because that's going to make or break your event. True dat. So in there, I was talking about all the different types of tools that you can use. Now, of course, you know, the default tool everybody uses is email, and email has, you know, huge upsides, downsides, mostly downside. And that, especially nowadays, if you don't have an established relationship with them, and of course with the GDPR from Europe or something like that, where they're really cracking down on whether the people have given you permission to email them or not. But as we know, I mean, we all have spam filters, get too many spam emails, and yet, because it's still free, people still use email a lot. So anyway, I was also talking about some other tools that companies can and should be using to help promote their participation. One tool, direct mail, right? Direct mail is massively successful, massively effective, I should say, because simple reason, there's not a lot of mail, but everybody opens their mail. But then I made a comment, then I also made a comment about a very, very antique marketing tool, so to speak, right? I said, you might want to think about sending out faxes to people to invite them to see you at the trade show. And people kind of looked at me like, faxes, what are you talking about? And I said, okay. I said, how many people in this room? And there were about, it wasn't a huge crowd. There were about 60 people in the room, 70 people in the room. And I said, how many people in this room still have fax machines in their offices? And probably about 15 or 20 people raised their hands. Now, what that means to me is that, you know what, that could be kind of a secret weapon, because those of us that still have fax machines, you know, when that thing rings, we go, who's faxing us, right? And what are they faxing? I mean, I got a fax here this morning, and doggone it, both Kay and I read it. And so anyway, after the program was over, I did have somebody come up to me, and they said something really interesting, and it annoyed me, but not, they didn't annoy me. It was kind of how it was set up that annoyed me, and that is, this person came up and said, "Oh, hey, you're talking direct mail." And he says, "I can't believe you're talking about fax machines and stuff." He said, "I'm a big follower of," and he named this guru. I mean, people will call me a guru out there too, but you know, I'm real reluctant with that word. But he named this, big time corporate guru who made a name for himself on the internet, right? And is very outspoken, very opinionated. He and I have had clashes in the past because, as this person pointed out, they said, you know, according to this guru, everything should be done via the internet. Everything should be digital and mostly via social media. And and I did talk about social media in my presentation, by the way. But I said, so he still doesn't recommend that you use any of these other tools. And he said, no, absolutely not. Everything should be digital marketing. Okay. that really annoys me. It annoys me a lot. And it's not because I'm an old white guy, right? It's because that to me is arrogant. And if you're taking advice from somebody who says to you, my way is the only way to do these things, you must only do it this way, my advice is to turn and run as fast as you possibly can away from that person. You see, I am a firm believer that there are many roads to the top of the mountain. I mean, I'm going to share with you the ways that I have learned, both, that have been successful, and also things that I've learned the hard way that, I didn't do that well, and also things that work for my clients. I'm going to talk about this, that stuff with you. But at the same time, I am not going to discount certain marketing tools just because I have an attitude about them, or that I think that, oh no, it should be like this, all right? Because, like, for example, I remember hearing this so-called guru, once say that billboards were stupid. TV advertising was stupid. And the fact of the matter is that billboards are great marketing tools for the right market and the right product that are able to match the right message. In fact, up here in the state of Washington, one of the most successful billboard campaigns lately has been in the marijuana industry, right? Ever since they legalized marijuana up here and all these pot shops have opened up, they've found that using these billboards have been tremendously successful for them. And direct mail, like I said, is fantastic. TV is fantastic. Why does the QVC channel continue to succeed? Why are there infomercials that continue to succeed? It's because there are certain markets where the TV is the best for reaching. And that's why I even said, like, even with fax, and of course this person is going to hate the fax machine, but even with fax, if my moose owned fax machines, I'm going to use fax. And in fact, about a year or so ago, I did have a client who was getting ready to do some marketing, and I did suggest that they consider using a fax machine because I knew that their market was a little bit older, had been around for a while, and I thought, you know what, I bet money that they still have fax machines. Sure enough, when they contacted people via fax, they actually got responses. So like I say, the point is that, yeah, I mean, I want you to follow me. I want you to test out the stuff that I'm teaching you, and that's the number one thing about marketing. Always remember, marketing is all about testing. That's what it is. It's all about testing. And you might find that something that is super high-tech works best for you, and you might find that something that is super no-tech works best for you. So just remember the old saying, there are many roads to the top of the mountain. This is Steve Miller, better known as Kelly's Data Marketing Gunslinger. I'll be back again next week with another Uncopyable Business video. This is pretty high-tech online, isn't it? Yeah. So, in the meantime, always remember, be uncopyable. Gotta read that